Hey guys, Amanda Davidson here with Direct Performance Physical Therapy, and we are on to our next week of strength training for runners, and our guest this week is Autumn Weiss.
Hi, I'm Autumn Weiss, owner of CrossFit 7x7 and Birthfit Hampton Roads. Just here to show you a great workout if you're a runner or anyone in general.
Yeah, this is an awesome workout and has some breath work in it, which is super important for runners to get that diaphragmatic breathing, get the diaphragm working properly, some single leg stability, as well as overall conditioning and core strength and stability, which we want to be able to run longer and faster and staying injury free. So take it away.
Awesome. All right, so today we're going to work, we're going to start with some breath work. So for 3 to 5 minutes, we're going to work on some diaphragmatic breathing and then just checking in with our bodies. So if you have something you can put your legs up on, a chair, a box, bench, anything like that, an ottoman in your living room, you're going to just lay on the floor, bring your hips and butt kind of close to the box or the bench, and you're going to bring your calves and shins on top. So we want to make sure our legs start at like a 90-degree angle. Back is nice and flat on the floor, and I like to start with my hands around my waist. So fingertips on your belly, thumbs behind you on your back, and we want to start with our breath, kind of filling this canister that is our core. So we're going to kind of bring our attention to the belly. And I'm going to stop talking so I can show you how to do that.
So the diaphragm is the top of our core. So just like Autumn's doing, it's so important to get that muscle engaged. And most of us are very shallow breathers. We don't breathe deep into the diaphragm. So getting that muscle active and working for you is going to help your core stability overall.
So 3 to 5 minutes here, just nice long inhales and exhales. And also focusing on just where in your body like something doesn't feel right or what does feel good, just like a body scan. So I'm thinking about, you know, my toes and then working my way up towards my head. So just checking in, bringing awareness to things you may need to pay attention to during this workout. Cool. So 3 to 5 minutes of breath work. Then we're going to start with just a little stability work here. We're going to start with a dead bug. So just getting the box out of the way, I'm going to lay flat on the floor. I'm going to bring both of my knees up. So we want to make sure that our knee isn't coming forward of our hip here. I like to think about having like a big stability ball, like pretend one, that I'm holding. My back is nice and flat on the floor and my hands are up. I'm going to start alternating, bringing my left heel and my right hand down towards the floor at the same time. And you want to be thinking like slow is fast here. So I'm not running through this really quickly, but I would be doing 10 reps each side. We're then going to transition into bird dog. So after you would do your 10 on each side, we're going to kind of roll over onto all fours. And here I want to think about being in a tabletop position, knees slightly wider than my hips, my wrists, elbows, shoulders are all in line, fingers are nice and flat spread on the floor, and my back is flat, like if I had a glass of water, it's not going to spill. Spreading through my upper back here, through my shoulder blades, and my head is neutral, so I'm not looking down or up, okay? So from here, same thing, we're going to do 10 reps each side, alternating. What I like to think about is initiating the movement first. So I'm thinking about which hand and which leg I'm going to start with. I'm bringing those off the floor and then starting my movement. So that's a lot harder than me just flying through it. So I'm going to think about which arm and which leg I'm moving. I'm going to lift those first and then extend. You might not be able to do the full range of motion in the beginning, and that's okay. What we want to avoid is our hips moving side to side too much. So we want a nice, strong, stable position here. Then we'll go through 10 reps from what we call a bear position. For bear, I'm going to keep my knees slightly wider than the hips. I'm going to lift my knees off the floor about 2 inches, and this is bear. I'm then going to bring each foot outside of each hand. So right foot outside of my right hand, left foot outside of my left hand. I'm going to come down into the bottom of my squat, nice and deep, and then stand. I'm going to then come back down, hands to the floor, back to that bear position. And I'm going to alternate this time, left foot outside of left hand, right foot outside of right hand, nice upper body, nice and straight, and then we're standing out of the bottom. So work through 10 reps there. Perfect. Next portion of the workout, we're going to go into 2 rounds for quality. Do 30 seconds each side of a lizard stretch. This is a great stretch for runners. Definitely opens the hip flexor. You can add a twist here if you'd like, where we can bring arm up, looking up towards that hand. So just holding on 30 seconds each side. And I would switch. And then I would go into 10 air squats. So focusing here, shoulder width stance of the feet, toes turn slightly out. I'm gonna send my hips back and down first, keeping my chest up. And at the bottom here, my hips are below parallel, standing all the way up at the top. Next would be 12, what we call death march. Sounds terrible, it's not that bad. So for the death march, you're gonna hold, you don't have to hold weights, but if you have dumbbells or kettlebells or 2 soup cans at home, that's fine. And for the death march, we're gonna start with keeping our legs straight. You're gonna step forward. My weights are at my side, my chest is up. I'm gonna hinge my hip back and reach my weights towards my front foot. And then stand. So I'm gonna alternate here. So my legs are staying straight. And what I'm looking for here is that my back stays nice and flat as I reach. So back stays flat, not letting the dumbbells pull me. I feel a nice stretch through my hamstring. Okay? So you would walk for 12 steps. Next would be a kind of a strength portion here. We'd be working on some front rack lunges. So 3 sets of 8 reps. These can be walking if you have the room. If you have dumbbells or kettlebells, anything weighted, you can also do this with a barbell. What we want to work on is that keeping those weights in the front rack position. So I'm going to use these dumbbells here. I'm going to bring these weights up to my shoulders, keeping my elbows supported underneath. We don't want elbows out, but rather right under the weights. And there's our front rack position. My chest is nice and tall. As I step forward into a lunge, take a nice big step, bringing my back knee down towards the floor, touching my back knee to the floor. My front shin is vertical. I'm going to then push through that front foot into that front heel and come back to a standing position. All right, next part of our workout is our conditioning piece. We have 4 rounds total. And each round is going to consist of 2 minutes of work and 2 minutes of rest. So for the 2 minutes of work, we're going to be doing 10 dumbbell rows, 12 goblet squats, and in the remainder of time, until the 2 minutes is up, you're going to do max effort of your choice of exercise. So some suggestions would be if you have a jump rope, you could do some double unders or single under jumps. If you have a rower, you could do a max calorie effort here. You could do just high knees in place, jumping jacks, burpees, anything that's going to elevate your heart rate, make you work hard for about a minute. I timed myself on this one. The dumbbell rows and the goblet squats took about 37, 38 seconds. So I would have about a minute 20, minute 15 to kind of work on that max effort portion. Once your 2 minutes of work is up, you're then going to have 2 minutes of full rest. And you'll complete that for 4 rounds. So your dumbbell rows, if you have dumbbells, kettlebells are fine. Even if a backpack, you can do this movement with those. You're going to take a hinge with your hips. You're sending my hips back. I'm bringing these weights down in front of me. My arms are nice and straight like ropes. And I'm going to pull the weights up towards my side, keeping my elbows in nice and tight, back flat, and extend my arms again. So each rep, we're kind of pulling all the way to the rib cage, and armpit area, back out. So I have a nice, strong position here to hold, working through those reps. So 10 reps with the dumbbell rows. Put one weight down, just like we worked in those air squats in the warm-up. You're going to be squatting here, now we're holding weight. So you're holding the weight right underneath of your chin. You can hold it like this, whatever floats your boat. And we're going to send our hips back and down, full depth of the squat, chest up, keeping that weight right underneath the chin and elbows away from our body. And then going to stand all the way back up. And I would finish the remainder of my 2 minutes with the exercise of my choice.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Autumn. It's a great workout for you guys. Give it a try. Let us know how it goes. Try it twice this week and see how it goes. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.